Yep. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Dumb SEO Questions, episode 196. Each week we meet here to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+, on our Facebook page, and it's Dumb SEO Questions, and also on Twitter on Dumb SEO QS. All right, with us tonight we have David Rosam. David Rosam has been a member of the European Union for just on 50 odd years. He's an SEO and an SEO copywriter of about 300 years standing. You can find David at writingforseo.org. Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net. He's also in the UK. Masataki is also a Google top contributor on the AdSense community. And you can find Masataki at wasaweb.net. Micah Fisher-Kirshner is a regular on the public speaking or the SEO public speaking circuit. He's also the senior SEO manager for Zendesk.com in the USA. And Rob Mars is an AdWords aficionado from the Netherlands. He is also a Google top contributor in Webmasters and Search, I think, in the English language. No? Oh, God, I don't know. What is it, Rob? AdWords in the Dutch language, yes, okay, thank you. Tim Capper is, you can find Rob at marketbiz.nl, that's marketbiz.nl. And Tim Capper is CEO of onlineownership.com. That's where you can find him. He's also a Google top contributor in the Google My Business community. And William Rock is a Google top contributor also in web search, I think. Yep.
Yes, sir.
And William hails from Kansas, and he can be found at williamrock.com. Okay, so our first question tonight, I'll just have to click this button because I forgot to do it before. All right, the first one is an href Lang question, I think. He said, my website is https://www.mohmal.com. He said, I haven't specified the X default page. Instead, the base URL of the website has a link rel equals alternative as the default language Arabic within link rel alternative. Is it dangerous? Will I lose page rank or something if I make the base URL as an X default page and let the Arabic language take another URL like /AR? Still, the base URL shows Arabic content, and still the page is identical to /AR. How's your Arabic, guys?
Yeah, so for this, and I think Niraj's point is pretty accurate here. If I'm getting this right, the main.com is in Arabic. So the X default, assuming you don't have any other pages in Arabic, is, you can almost say, optional. It's there to basically tell Google out of which of the pages do you want to be the main the main one in case the other domains are not listed for their country or country and language location. So by setting Arabic as the main one for the .com, I think, yeah, for the .com, then that would be, if you have any other Arabic ones, and let's say, let's go, you have a site as well for, or domain as well for Saudi Arabia, and somebody in the UAE is searching, then basically it's a way of saying to show the .com instead of Saudi Arabia. It's not any, just to pull in Rob's comment from Rob's point from the comments, it's not necessarily anything to do with ranking directly. It's to show, it's just to help Google decide which site to be shown within a set region. So it's really kind of its purpose. And it's just to help make it a little clearer so Google knows which one to actually show. Otherwise, it's going to make its best judgment call.
Thank you, Micah. Does anybody want to add to Micah's excellent answer?
Yeah, looking at the site, it is language-based. It's not. They don't have, let's say, competing or different versions for the same language. It seems to be purely language, so it looks okay to me.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to give a call out to Niraj Pandey, one of our forum heroes that answer questions during the week on the SEO Questions community on Google+. And I think that's enough for this question. We'll move on to the next. All right, this is another technical question. It's titled, "A lot of images are not indexed by Google." Atish Himaid said, "Hi all. We have an e-commerce Magento site with thousands of images." I guess that is. There might be something wrong with my page. No, I can't fix that. Okay. But he said, but a lot of images are not indexed by Google. When we search in Google Images as site:"example.com, the results are from media.example.com. And he gives a couple of URLs which can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+. He said, "We have provided alt and image title tags and still no results, none are indexed. Now, we have disallowed the following in robots text," and he gives a list which is appearing on the screen now and also can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+. And he said, "Is this list by any chance causing any trouble?" And secondly, the preferred URL in the Search Console is set to, I don't know what's happened to my screen format tonight, but I can't see that. He said, "Please help, let me know if more information is required." So Jordan Lowry, another forum hero, suggested making another sitemap for images. Is that likely to make a difference, guys?
It helps for Google to find the images.
And at least you know how much or how many of the images are actually indexed or not. Right? Because if you submit an image sitemap, then it does say how many images have been indexed as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that should help, that's for sure.
And are these also unique images, or are they duplicate images that are already out there? Especially a
Right.
shopping cart.
Yeah. Yeah, and create different sitemaps, image sitemaps, so you know if there are any differences in between sections, or if particular types of images are indexed compared to others. That might pinpoint you to things that you wish to look for.
But I think he said in there that some of the images are getting indexed, but not all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So is
it
there a
helped
pattern
me.
to URLs that he might be able to find?
Yeah.
I'd probably go back into the actual URL of the image that is showing up in the image, or being found by Google, and then look at what the difference on that page is compared to the ones that are not showing up.
Yeah. Also, is it something like an actual image, or are they background images? That could make a difference in some ways. The type of image and the way it's being encoded might make it more difficult for Google to process them.
The other thing is Magento is very customizable. So depending on what the programmers have put in, there might be something different on those subcategories that are not getting the image indexed. It could be causing a problem too.
Okay, have we exhausted this one? Okay. All right, let's move on to. Oh, this is the. We only have 2 questions tonight, so now we move on to our SEO news weekly roundup. This one was posted by David Rozam. Thank you, David. And it was a panel with looks like Eric Enger and I can't see who the other person is. Danny Sullivan on at SMX. Anyway, David wants to know what do the panel agree and disagree with. I looked at the article. I didn't see a lot new there. Eric Enger made a lot of fuss about the fact that a Google employee said that the first 2 ranking factors are content and links. Well, there's a surprise. But it was a good article, and anything that comes out of Bruce Clay is all right. I'm sure we all agree. Tim Kapp would rather be discussing Brexit because he backed an exit with Paddy Palin. Can't get a rise out of Tim.
No, he's isolated himself. He's put a wall up, funded by the Mexicans or something like that. You're doing something very dangerous. You're prodding him. He might start again. No, going back to this excellent article, it always amuses me when there's yet another. SEO isn't dead. Of course it isn't bloody dead. We may look a bit old, but we're not dead.
We're seasoned.
Better euphemism. There you go.
I think going back to that, the SMX event, I think there's a lot of good things being said there, but then it's a lot of the same stuff. If you've been in the industry as long as we have, it's kind of like, okay, certain things work and certain things don't. Everybody's going to try to defeat the search engine somehow, or Panda's not doing what they wanted to do, or Penguin is not doing what it wants to do, and so they're bombarding the Gary, just like they would do with Matt Cutts. And at least they've been very answering a lot of questions for us in the public. Where if we try to do that back in 1999 or 1999 or 2000 or 2001, we weren't getting a lot of information. So I think they're providing a lot more than they have ever done in a long time. But nothing really stood out on that article. I didn't go to SMX, but
yeah, it's one of those things that I put in the news forum because I feel it's probably a useful read for people who ask us questions, or for those who are not as expert as us.
yeah, and they're getting a good history of what is changing, I guess you can say, because everything's changing. It's always been changing. You go back to when we first had Panda 1.0. Now look at how far it's come. But yeah, a lot of the newbies really do need to keep up with that. And I shared it as well, I believe. So.
All right. Our next news article, if I can find the right button to click here. And apparently the Bing Ads Editor for Mac has launched in beta. Are there still Mac users left in the world?
There are, but they're being isolated off of the brick wall that is Europe.
There's more Bing users than Mac users in the U.S. So let's put it that way.
I don't know. I'm talking to you guys on a Mac right now.
Ah, there's a good man.
I've got a Mac right there. So I mean.
So is David. So we've got a Mac at both ends of the screen here.
Well, see, I'm anti-Windows anymore. I've stopped using Windows for a long time, but that's just me. So I'm kind of excited about Bing, but I don't really play a lot with Bing, so that's something I need to get back into anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use the Google AdWords editor a lot. So I've always felt I'd like to have one for Bing for the few times I get clients who want me to use Bing ads. It just so happens I've put a proposal in for that very thing. So, I'm just hoping that it's not Microsoft's usual ham-fisted attempt at putting software on the Mac. I've almost got to the stage of removing Office from my main machine. It's already gone from my laptop because it's just such a pile of crap. And I kind of feel I have to have it just for the odd time that someone sends me an Excel spreadsheet that I can't open meaningfully in anything else. But anyway, let's hope that because Microsoft will hopefully be making ongoing revenue out of Bing ads that they've got it right this time.
Yeah, you're right. Do you guys advertise a lot on Bing? I mean, every time I've done it, or I still actually have some accounts over there doing Bing, but I get a better bang for my buck on AdWords. But I'm in the AdWords editor all the time, pretty much every day. I love the new updates to that one. Has been fantastic. So I'm curious to find out what other bells and whistles are added to this beta for Bing.
We do have a man who knows all about it here, of course. God. 50% more, 3% extra mark. Yeah, that's
Netherlands would work because that would mean 50% more work for 3% extra market. Nobody uses Bing over here.
Yeah, I mean, the question keeps coming up from even agencies I work with. Why aren't we really doing much with Bing, even though they show up in the results and we have their webmaster tools set up and everything else? But if you look at like even Microsoft, even the new version, I don't remember what they're calling it, but it's defaulting to Internet Explorer, and Bing is their default search engine. So I'm curious on if you're a Windows user, does it automatically just, if you don't have a lot of experience with, I'm going to use Google, set my search or my options for that one. How many people are still on the default Bing engine on Windows?
Yeah, but those people aren't the ones who are buying
online. They're just going and searching online.
If you don't know how to change from Bing to Google, you're not allowed to buy something on the internet.
Well said. Well said.
All right.
Looking forward
Will
to
we
seeing.
move on?
Yes, I think we've done that to death.
Okay. Our next is AdWords ads coming to the Google Local Pack, and this is significant, which means that now we're going to have 3 normal ads plus an extra local pack AdWords ad. 4 out of the 6 listings above the fold will all be ads. I mean, I know Google does exhaustive user testing and wouldn't be doing this if there was pushback. I wonder if people care. I don't know. It would drive me nuts having to scroll down to see the actual results. I mean, I'm not really interested in the ads.
Yeah, I still find people who don't know the difference between the ads and the organic results.
Oh yeah, true.
And I think as Google has made the visual difference less and less. They might have a few coloured flashes here and there saying ad, but it doesn't seem to sink in with some people, or else they would know the difference. I think this is all down to bottom line and stock market evaluations rather than user experience.
Yeah, and let's don't forget that advertisers are fine-tuning their ads much more nowadays. Where people used to have hundreds of keywords in a campaign, a lot of them use very targeted campaigns, so the ads are very targeted at what you're looking or searching for, which means there are good links to click on.
Yeah, very true. I mean, that's how I run most of my AdWords campaigns. Very tight ship, but very fine tuned to plumber to telecom to whatever it might be. But I'm actually looking at it as an advantage because I have organic results, and I'm also going to now have an opportunity to actually pop myself in a paid advertisement. How much that's going to cost me, I don't know yet, but I have it on the table to play in that space for 2 of my clients. So I'm going to be testing that out and see kind of what's the average click through, But I think the average person still doesn't really understand or see that visual element, and they're just clicking. They're like, okay, here's top 3, 4 different results for whatever I'm looking for, and I click, I go. I'm like, oh, no, I don't like that, so I go back. So I think there's got to be some type of signal that they're watching out of it. Just kind of like the same way you'd be clicking into from an organic listing to a regular website. If they just up and left, gives a good signal that they didn't even stay and read for 30 seconds. Might be a bad.
Well, it goes much further, because if you make a conversion as a visitor, strongly counts into the algorithm for your next searches and for the searches of other people.
Yeah.
So it's quite likely that the ad is targeted quite well at you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, summing up, is AdWords ads in the local pack? I mean, given that there's only three listings in the local pack, and now there's only going to be 2 real ones and a paid one. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
If you're in it, it's a good thing.
Well,
If you're struggling to get into to 2 instead of 3, it's a bad thing.
I think on the organic map, though, if it's a 3-pack, those 3 are not actually paid ones. Until you click on more listings, that's where the ads are showing up. So I don't think it's affecting the organic 3-pack. It's going to actually affect once they click in. For
Well, I haven't seen it here yet. I don't click that often on more.
I think I've seen it more as a Google local guide than anything else. As I'm going through and modifying listings and everything else and looking for something, or even in the search forum or web search forums, looking at somebody's question they posted about their business, I'm going out and looking at all that anyways. And so I think I'm always in maps now and get to see that.
How many points do you have as a Google local guide, William?
Oh shoot, I think I'm up to about 1,029, something like that right now. They need to actually add more levels to it. There's only up to level 5. Using Tim.
I'm at 9.
How many you got, Rob?
19.
There you go.
19. Well, Tim Capper's got 19 too, but he's got 1946, 1941, something like that.
Yeah, I've got about 700 of them just straight images, so it's taken businesses from shopping centers and then all the way to large corporate buildings. You'd be amazed on how many large corporations, don't even have a picture on their map, nor they're even claiming their business. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's 80% of businesses in the real world haven't ever claimed their page. And that was when Google auto-generated. So can you imagine they stopped that a year ago, but I mean, these things are completely changing all the time. New ones are being created, and of course they're not auto-generating, so those ones aren't even appearing yet. I mean, there's just a massive amount out there which either are unclaimed or don't even exist online.
Yeah, I think there's a quick way to actually reach those people, though, and I think I wrote that in my last post on my wall about that. Is really that touch the chambers of commerce. Those guys, those business owners, those executives are going into this every month, and you just give them a postcard, do simple instructions. Here, go back to your desk when you get to the office, and type look for your business. If it says this little thing that says claim your business, walk through the steps, and then we hit them all across the U.S. and we can hit them all worldwide. But it's a test I'm going to start doing at a local chamber of commerce here and see if we can get the ball rolling.
Sure, fair enough. Thank you, William. Tim, any truth in the rumour that you're heading over to Brussels soon to polish up the listings for the European Parliament?
Polish up the listings, mate. I'm going to annihilate them, destroy them, get rid of them. Those tossers are just not going to wish they ever fucking were born, mate.
I wish I could catch fish as easy.
After tomorrow, he has nothing to say in Europe anymore.
All right, let's move along to the next.
Like I said, I'm moving to Chile.
And Rahul Bhardwaj was kind enough to let us know that the Google ad tag color is changing to green, the same color as the URL. If it is a green, it'll be such a pale green that it'll be barely discernible.
Well, isn't green a hard color for people with color blindness?
If you color green, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yellow to green.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Let's call that covered. We'll tweet it anyway. Somebody might want to look at it. Click the button and we'll see. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your interest in what we do. Your participation makes what we do worthwhile. We'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again, but for now it's good night. Thank you.